Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Ravenclaw here, back with another hunter guide, and this hunter guide is going to be my pre-patch 7.0 experimental guide. And why is it experimental? It's because that I'm still working out the bugs in Survival Hunter, because I really want to give this a solid go. I have had a lot of fun with it so far, and I've been working around with the talents to see which one works with my playstyle the best. We'll go over the talents and all that other stuff. Won't really go over the gear because it's pretty much the same except the weapon, but you know, I might go over it for those people that have just picked up the hunter for the beginning. So for everyone that's, you know, already good with it and just sort of thought, hey, I'm just going to watch this video, you can skip past wherever you want. But those of you that would like to sort of get a better understanding, well, as much as I can help you with, just sit back and we'll go through the video. So yeah, anyway, let's get to it. Alright, so here we are. We talk about the talents. And this, I want it to be more of a discussion. So if you have any sort of thoughts and comments, leave them down below and we'll chat about it. Let me know if I've gone over something that you think, no, I find a better way. Tell me why. And yeah, we'll discuss it later on. Now, I will be doing a full guide when we get into Legion, because that means we'll have our artifact weapons. We'll be able to scale up our honor talents. Okay? That's when I'll do my proper guide, once I've gotten to everything and checked it all out. But this is more of a pre-patch to get you guys sort of working with it if you're having trouble. Now, the first tier, I have seen people going with throwing axe, but I don't know, for me, I like way of the Mock Nathal. This one, every time you use your Raptor Strike, you get a buff. So let me we'll just walk on over. One thing I have noticed with survival hunters in this patch is you really have to manage your buffs quite a lot. Now that's with Mongo Spite and Raptor Strike and stuff. So with Raptor Strike, oh by the way, do you like my Robo Dog? I was a gnome, for those of you that don't know. I was a gnome, got all the mechanical pets, then switched back to human, and I can still use the pets. So that way I don't have to go and get that thing in Legion that allows everyone to go and get it, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so if we do Raptor Strikes, if you look up here, we get 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks. That's 12% extra attack power. Okay, so come back here, dog. Okay, so what we need to manage is that buff. We need to keep that up as much as you can. So what the hell is this dog doing? Look at it. Anyway, whatever. Now, the next one is your Mongoose Bite. Now, if we read down here, it attacks the target, does about 20,000 damage. Now, this is just averages, like it's going to be different in PvP situations. But it gives you another buff called Mongoose Fury. This is a very important buff because it stacks quite high and does a crap ton of damage if you can manage it right. So what you want to do is you want to have your what's the buff called? Let's just have a look. Okay, so let's call it the Nathal Tactics. You want that have that at 12%, because when you get to 12%, you then go in, you smack it again, and you can see it getting higher and higher. And obviously then you'll pop everything and whatever. So what do we need to focus on there? Well, we need to focus not just on keeping that rolling. We need to make sure that we get another thing called Hunter's Champion, or Hunting Champion. Okay, so your pet's attack has a 6.7% chance to grab you another stack of Mongoose Bite. Now, if you noticed, if you hit Mongoose Bite and you hit it again, it doesn't refresh. Okay, so that's why you really have to line everything up. Make sure all the moons are aligned to really just get the most out of that. And yeah, so once again, let's bring him away. Let's go down to the next one. Now, this one is situational, I would say. Now, if you're good with stacking the Mongoose Bites, I would go this one, because I've been using it in sort of like skirmishes and stuff, and it's been really handy. Like, it comes So this is what you do. You would stack your Nathal tactics up. You would then flanking strike. You get the lacerate on because these help getting another stack of mongoose bite, right? And also now that explosive trap is actually in my rotation because it does quite a bit of dot damage over time as well. All right. So once you've got that up, then you start pounding into your mongoose bites. Once you've used them all, you can then hit Snake Hunter, get another 3 stacks instantly, and then bam, bam, bam. Once it gets to like 6 stacks, it does like 100k or more. So it's really good for just that smash damage. Now there's 2 ways that you play the Hunter style, which I'll show you later. Anyway, so the next one, we have Dash, we have Fast Rider, and Post Haste. I use Post Haste because it is very handy because when you throw your harpoon, or whatever it is called, yeah, your harpoon, that's when you get your Post Haste. Which, let's say you've got a mage. You throw your harpoon, blinks away, you've got that speed to catch up. Like I said earlier, I am finding it a bit, I don't know, it is a bit tough because I'm getting like snared and rooted a lot. So that's a bit annoying at the moment. Alright, so moving pairing effects, it's the same, okay, as we had before. So if you, see I haven't tried it yet against if I am snared, I throw my harpoon, does it activate as it goes? So that's something we'll have a look at. Alright, now the next one, I use improved traps because just like our survivals used to have, just standard was lower trap time, okay? It sucks that we have to talent that now, but hey, what are you gonna do? I mean, it is up to you. Like Caltrops is okay, Steel Trap, but let me just say I'm going with improved traps. The next one here, this I say is situational. Now, if you're running with a healer, okay, I would go Ranger's Net because let's just use your mage. Mage gets away, blinks away, you can trap him, and it's a 40-yard range, right? 40-yard range. Or if a druid blinks away, you can trap him and make your way over there if your harpoon's on cooldown. Or if you're in 3s, your teammate needs to get up there, Ranger's Net, lock them down. Also, if you notice, once they get out of it, their movement speed is reduced by 50%. Really good. Camouflage is camouflage. If you're running like double DPS or something like that, I'd go camouflage because now that we're melees, survivals, now that we're survivals and melees, it's all about getting into the fight without getting destroyed beforehand. Okay, so just muck around with these 2, I'd say. Where are we now? So the next one. I see a lot of survivals going this Dragon's Fire Grenade. It is good, I've mucked around with it. It is quite a solid damage, and it reduces the speed. But I like Serpent Sting the most because every time you use your Raptor Strike or Carve, which is your AoE, it applies Serpent Sting. Especially if you're in a BG, got everyone around, you smack that, everyone gets Serpent Sting, or you just watch the dots fly. So I'm probably going to stick with Serpent Sting for now. Let's see how I go. 100. Expert Trapper is what I use. Just purely because if we have a look, Freezing Trap, that's what gives us the slow once it's broken out of, which is great for healers. And what else do we have? Explosive Trap does 75% more. That's why I said earlier, it is now in my rotation. Tar Trap, enemies moving through it have a chance to be rooted, and it is very handy if you're trying to make if you're trying to get a gap, you throw your Tar Trap out, and the chance is pretty high. Every time I've hit it, it's mostly people just get stuck. So yeah, it is up to you. Now, like I said, this is experimental guide. This is what I'm using at the moment, mucking around, really testing out, and it's been really good for me. So don't use this as, the law right now, because like I said, we will go over again once Legion hits. We can also have, should we have a look at this? There's no real point because we can't really use any. So wait till Legion. What else? Now, for those who are saying, well, didn't you say you had access to Legion? And I said yes, but once again, I want to hit Legion with you guys. Okay, so yes, I could be like everyone else, get on to Legion, do a lot of Legion stuff for views, but I'm not about that. You guys know that. I'm about, keeping up with you guys. So for those that don't have Legion, I want to go in there fresh with you guys. Now, speaking of Legion real quick, Hunters, Demon Hunters released. If you've got the pre-expansion, the Demon Hunters are released on the 9th, so wait for that. We're going to have a lot of fun. Alright, so moving on. Let's have a look at the skills a bit deeper. Now, what have we got? It's important that when you start a character, if you're watching this and you're a new hunter, or if you're a veteran and still can't get your head around it, or something like that, it's good to go over absolutely everything, like I did. I went through Marksman, BM, and Survival and just read everything that's changed. Now, some of the changes that have really annoyed me is the aspect of the cheetah. I used to be able to have that on all the time. When it gets, obviously it hit, gets taken off, but it was great for keeping that speed, movement speed up in arenas. This is really now, I would use this if you're going in for a kill and you need that gap closer. Other than that, I wouldn't use it. Like, otherwise, look at this, 3-minute cooldown. Next, aspect of the eagle. This is good. Now you can do two things with this, right? You can either keep it with your burst, like I've done, because of the increased chance of getting mongoose charges, or you can use it separate as a sort of side burst. I don't know. But speaking of which, I don't know if you guys are aware, but for those that aren't, our on-use trinkets do not work anymore in PvP situations. Now, as of this time, I haven't actually gone and looked if there's other things out there that we need to be using, but on-use trinkets just don't work in thing. It keeps coming, well, for me anyway, it keeps coming up saying not allowed in PvP instances, which is like, what? I don't know. I still have to read up about that. Okay, so aspect of the turtle. This is really interesting, this one. It says deflects all attacks, okay, which it does, and reduces all damage you take by 30%. So I'm reading this as everything misses. So what's with the reduce of the damage? I don't get it. Now, before you yell at the screen, I believe that the reduction of damage is magical damage. So if you've got dots on you, you pop that up, it reduces that damage, or bleeds or something like that. But when I first saw that, I'm like, what's the point of having that? If nothing hits you, why have a damage reduction? Why not just give us back deterrence? Anyway, so that's what I think is from that. Okay, camouflage, you already know that is. Carve is our AoE attack. Once again, if you spect it, you'll get Serpent Sting on everybody around. So it'd be good for threes. It used to be like what Arms Warriors did with Rend. So you would rend everybody up. Same thing. Eagle Eye, that's a novelty thing. Exhilaration, this is... it's our lifeline, essentially. It does heal for a crap ton. So obviously 30, my health in arenas is like 528k or something like that. So you get the idea. It's like, what, 150 or whatever k. But then if it crits, you can get anywhere up to like 200 something k. Really, really handy. You've just got to make sure you use it wisely. Don't just spam it because you see a life drop. The way I like to do things is your Royal Sacrifice first to take a lot of that damage down. Then, if needed, Aspect of the Turtle, then Exhilaration. Work it in like that, because this one has a 1-minute cooldown. That has a 3-minute cooldown. So if you have to get that out of the way, it's better to get it out of the way at the start. By the time you're sort of getting in deep of it, you've got it back online. But yeah, so I've actually, that's come in handy a lot, this Exhilaration. It used to be obviously a talent, now it's part of our core range. Sorry, my phone keeps buzzing and I'm just like, what the hell is this? Like always, you know that always happens. Now, Flanking Strike. Flanking Strike is part of our main rotation now. So, coordinate attack that where you deal 16,000, these numbers, they change obviously. Physical damage to your pet, and your pet deals blah blah blah. Now, if the target is attacking you, your pet's attack does more. Once again, if they're attacking your pet, which in arenas, I'm not sure who would really do that, your attack does 50% more. Now, I'm still not sure whether that means if the target, if the, what is it? If the, let's say our dog gets dotted up, is that class as attacking? Then both of us, do we both get that damage increase? Don't know, I haven't tested that yet, which we'll go over that at some point. Flanking shot has double normal chance of triggering hunting companion, which, like I mentioned before, hunting companion is when your pet has a chance to give you another mongoose charge. Alright. Where are we? Flare. We all know what flare does. Harpoon. That's our gap closer now. So harpoon. It's actually I use that in Battleground. Which map were we on? I think it was Battlefield. Yeah, it was the Battlefield Gilneas, and there was a boomkin up on top of the mountain there, or the cliff or whatever, shooting crap at me, and straight up, bam. Thanks for coming. Now I do have some vids of like some gameplay too, which we'll talk about some other stuff at the end of this. Now hatchet toss, I don't use that much. I probably should just chuck it here just for shits and gigs. Like hatchet toss just throws a little hatchet at the enemy, and yeah, it's, I would say, just to keep people a little bit in combat. Okay, lacerate. This has to be on off cooldown. Every time this comes off cooldown, just smack it on. Obviously it's a large bleed, or yeah, I'm calling it a bleed, like it says tears a bleeding wound, right? But it also has a chance to give you, what's it? Mongoose, what am I trying to say? Mongoose bite stack. Okay, where are we? Mongoose bite, like I mentioned earlier. Muzzle, this is our interrupt. Okay, so it's only 3 seconds. That's same with the counter shot. So yeah, I had a mind blank. Raptor Strike is just our main attack. Snake Hunter we've gone over. Traps, you have 3 traps still. You've got Freezing Trap, which does what you know it does. Freezes the target, but the cool animation now, he sort of frisbees it out of the way instead of like lobbing it. We've got Tar Trap, which is, it does a big area of effect, which slows down when it comes into it, plus has a chance of rooting the target. And Explosive Trap, which does quite a bit of damage, so if you throw it. Now it doesn't have much of a range, okay, so you have to be careful. You have to make sure that you, what I like to do is I like to, sorry, I'm just going to keep wanting to say root the target, but snare the target with your ranger's net, and then chuck it in. So that way you're assured that you have that damage. Otherwise, because it's only got a short distance, you've got a chance of missing the targets. So these last two, mastery is important for us to increase our mongoose bite chance, okay, to get a charged mongoose bite. But our main stat as a survival is versatility. So the way I would do it, I'd go versatility, crit, mastery, haste. That's what, that's what I'm looking at doing at the moment, okay? Let's just get out of combat here. And the last is survivalist, which is the same as it was before. When you kill a target, you get, I think it's 15% of your health over 10 seconds. Not bad. Alright. Now, let's look at some... As you know, there's no real set rotation, but we'll have a look at like what I've been messing around with, okay? So the important thing is to, when you start the fight, you want to get your stacks of Nathal tactics up, right? Then you want to apply your dots, but use, so as you can see, you want to manage that attack. You want to manage your stacks here of Nathal tactics. So then once you've got your Nathal tactic, make sure you keep it up. Then you pop the, what's it called again? Your Snake Hunter, and you make sure you just keep pumping out the stacks of Mongoose Bite. It really is a dot management system now. When I say dot, more buff management. And importantly, you want to keep if you're running Nathal's tactics, you want to make sure that you keep it at 4 stacks for as long as you can. Okay, so you can see that the explosive trap does quite a bit of damage. So that's pretty much what I've sort of been working with as far as rotation goes. Now, also you have wing clip, which I forgot to mention earlier. Okay, so wing clip is your close hand slow. Okay, so sort of like hamstring for a warrior. So you can see that you can just, yeah, keep them at slow. And that little effect there, like, sort of that little earth movement is, well, it's a good visual to say, yeah, I've snared him. So you've got a few snares. So make sure when you're doing it, keep your tar trap down, keep them in the fight. It's important as a hunter, as a survival hunter, sorry, is to keep them as close as you can to the, you know, let's say it's important to not let them get too far away. That's pretty much it. You want to try and keep them snared as long as you can possibly can. And yeah, so obviously when they make distance, you can close the gap with that. If you're using ranger's net, you can snare them down. Obviously it does share a DR with any other snares or whatnot, so be careful not to just spam it on the same target. Oh, you get the idea. All right, so bring him back. I don't think I've missed anything else. So important things to know at this point in time is you want to manage your Nathal tactics. You want to keep that buff up as long as you can. Then from there, you want to make sure that you keep your dots applied all the time. So that is your lacerate. You want to keep your explosive trap going. Then you want to make sure that you use your flanking strike. That's more of a hard hitting attack. So obviously I'm not getting attacked. No one's getting attacked, so it doesn't hit as hard as it would, right? And then once you've got your Nathal tactics up, make sure that you then just explode the mongoose charges you've got into the target, and bam bam. I just sort of switch between, you know, raptor strike and mongoose bite just to keep the charges going. So you see now I've got 5 stacks and 6 stacks at the end there. So you can, it takes a little bit of time, but you know, once you get it, you pretty much get it. But yeah, so coming back out. We'll just run away from that now. Now I can show you the gear that I've got. It's up to you if you want to get the same. I'm thinking things will change once Legion comes out. So I'll show you the gear that I have. Pretty standard. I've got so I'll just go through it here and you guys can, you know, copy it if you really want to. It hasn't changed since my last survival guide really. Except the polar arm, which I have Mark of the Bleeding Hollow, which gives you mastery. And my enchants on the neck, back and rings are the versatility enchants. Now, I did hear somewhere that we might be using gems, but I haven't looked into that when it comes to Legion. And yeah, now this unused trinket, I mean, I'm using for the agility. It doesn't seem to give me versatility anymore, so I don't know why. Maybe because it's way too much versatility for a survival hunter. I don't know. And that's the last piece there. And I think that was pretty much everything that I needed to mention. Like I said, it's experimental in the sense that we're all still walking through the same, you know, same style together. So we're basically new hunters again, learning the style. So I wanted to make a sort of video just to explain what I've been doing, what my thoughts are. Some things I don't like, some things are really good. But I'd love to hear, and I encourage you guys to leave comments down below. Now, just be aware that I'm not accepting any stupid comments like, oh man, you suck, or that's crap, I do it like da. Constructive criticism, I'm good about it. It's a good with, all right? Let me know. Tell me why why you think that I should be doing something different instead of just being a jerk and going nuts. You guys know what to do. Anyway, yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. So I've got a few games that I'll show you now. These obviously, remember, there's no rated season, so these are just random skirmishes, just to show you a bit of an idea of what I do inside the arena there. All right, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to leave a like if you did like this video. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and other than that, keep on sniping and enjoy.
sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire.